This story is new for you at 9. The pandemic has altered so much of our lives, right? And the way we do things, including how we tip. Experts say now that restaurants and businesses are fully open, tipping has actually seen a decline since the start of the pandemic last year. So who should you be tipping and how much? Joining us now with some advice is Dannie Fowler with the Etiquette School of Florida. Dannie, good morning. It's good to see you.
Good morning. Good to see you again, too.
All right. So as a refresher, right, since we haven't been out in a while, what is the norm when it comes to tipping?
Well, of course, prices have gone up on almost everything, it seems. So we kind of want to go back to what we were doing, but some things have changed. I would say the norm now is really 20% when you're going out dining. We used to do 15 for just average service, 18 for good service, and 20 for exceptional. That's changed. Now we're thinking more like 25% for exceptional. 20 is more the norm. And even though we raised it during COVID to help people out, keep the industry going, keep our restaurants going, we have to know that things have sort of shifted now. And if you really think about it, it's a service. We're paying for the service. So exceptional should be 25. The norm should be more like 20.
I think that's interesting because during COVID, right, customers were encouraged to be really generous with their tips during that particular time. Now that restaurants have opened, I think a lot of F&B workers probably thought, okay, listen, people are going to come back. They're going to be so happy to be back. They're going to tip us more than they ever have before. And the opposite's happening. Some of them are not being treated very well because of the mask issue and that kind of thing, right? So a lot of it has really changed.
Well, I'm hoping it's going to calm down. I've seen a little bit of that myself when I've been out, and I think, wow, this is, we are back. We're not back to normal yet. We're still sort of, coming out of the muck of all this. So we still need to be, kind and tip our waiters, tip people who are doing services for us because they've been on the front line this whole time. And some of them lost their jobs. Some of them, most of them in the wait staff got their hours cut back. So this is not a time to cut back on our tips or to go to 15%. Again, in my opinion. I mean, but you have to budget to go out. If all you can do is 15%, then that's all you can do. It is a tip. It is a gratuity. I did notice a trend now into tipping takeout service, which I know we were doing that to support the restaurants. It used to be that you did not tip on a takeout service. Then it kind of started becoming in the last few years about 10% was the norm. I'm hearing 15% is now becoming more the norm. I think it's up to you. But they are doing you a service, and they have been there when we needed them. Now they need us. We need to kind of stay there, step it up a little bit. But really still the norm is 15, 18, 20, but I would say 20% really should be the norm.
I was looking at a study that UC Berkeley did last December of about 1,600 workers, found that more than 80% of them said their tips declined. And they also experienced that hostile behavior that we were talking about from customers over a lot of things. And so what should we keep in mind when we talk about what these workers have gone through too? Because when you say 25%, some people may say, ooh, that's a lot of money to tip, right?
I agree. It is a lot of money. You kind of have to factor that in. I would say that, if a meal comes out and it's a good meal and you got great service, 20% is just fine. It's just fine. I'm saying for the extra above and beyond, they did something for you. If the meal comes out and it's not warm or it's prepared wrong or something doesn't taste right, that's not your server's fault. That started in the kitchen. So remember, you're paying for the service of them taking care of you, not necessarily the prepping of the food. They didn't cook it.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because when that happens to me, I still tip as I normally would tip, because I know it's not their fault. So I'm so glad you mentioned that. Dannie Fowler? Yeah, go ahead. You want to say something else?
I want to say this too. Some people think if it's bad service, you don't tip at all, but that's their livelihood. And sometimes people have a bad day. Something's not going right in the kitchen. We should always remember that we are paying for a service to be taken care of. And this is a special thing because we don't have to cook now, right? So just remember, you should at least tip the 15%, even if it's not great service.
And especially if all they're relying on is tips, if it's just a tip on the restaurant as well. So that's another good point. Dannie Fowler, thank you so much for joining us. Good information.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
You as well. Amy.
All right, well, coming up, we've got the magical details on